Good evening, Charles County. I am Commissioner Vice President Ralph Patterson II. And I am so happy to be a commissioner because I'm a lifelong resident of Charles County. I have seen this county grow so much in my long life here. And I just am so happy to be a part of that movement and momentum going forward. And so being a commissioner has been the joy, one of the biggest joys of my life, being able to meet with residents, friends, family, and just have us all working together to build our county, to make sure our county is something that is we're going to be proud of, and we're going to have a legacy that we're going to be proud to pass on to our kids. So in 2021, I decided to run for commissioner because I heard my father's voice. He is deceased now, but I always used to remember hearing his voice of being, if you're not going to be a part of the solution, then you're a part of the problem. And if you're not going to do something about it, then you have to stop complaining. I was very disappointed with the leadership that of District 4, the commissioner's race. And so for me, I heard that voice once again that said, hey, stop complaining, be a part of the solution. And if you're not going to be a part of the solution, then stop complaining. Previous commissioner was very lackluster in community engagement and was very disengaged with the community. And so for me, that felt very personal. Here you are, you're the face of our community, but we cannot find you and we cannot access who you are and what is going on in our community. And I just felt that that was the minimum you should be able to do is be in the community and engage with the community and finding out what your constituents want or what they need. And so for me, being a special education teacher, I knew that that was something that was very, very, very important. And so I just took the next 15 months to engage with the community. And in that community engagement, I learned about something very important, Charles County Citizen Academy. That was a godsend. I tell Dory Fleischer, the director, all the time, I wouldn't be a commissioner for Citizen Academy because they took me behind the scenes. They took our entire class, I should say, behind the scenes and showed us how county government works. And I thought I knew how county government works until I took Citizen Academy and really, really, really drilled down, honed down on how we can make this county work and what is not working in the county. And so that was a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to learn so that when day one hit as a commissioner, I wasn't having to learn and adjust. I was ready to serve the community in an earnest and honest manner day one. This is what gets me up in the morning every single day to serve our county is that I love it here. I'm one of those rare Charles County residents that has moved away 5 different times and I've moved back each time because you can't stay away from your one true love. And Charles County has always been my one true love. I brag about Charles County everywhere I go across the state. The governor knows where Charles County is all the time because I make sure to let him know that Charles County is the center of of Maryland and that we need to be at the table, making sure that we are having our Charles County residents heard and felt at the highest levels of state government. And so for me, it's always been about promoting and making sure that our community knows that their commissioner loves them back, even if you didn't vote for me, but your commissioner loves you back because you know what? You're family, and you're always going to be family, whether you live here or don't live here, you're always going to be family. My inspiration every day is just coming from going to the grocery stores, going to the high schools, going anywhere in Charles County and just seeing the fact that people are enamored that they see their commissioner out at the Safeways, at the baseball games, at the football games, and that I'm approachable and that there's never going to be a time where I'm going to say, no, I don't have time for you. No, talk to me later. It's always going to be, hey, what can I do for you? How can I make your life better? What can we do to make your community better and stronger? And so that's always been my why. And each and every day, it never fails me that I go somewhere and someone will be like, hey, I saw you on social media, but now I'm amazed to see you in real life here doing a food drive or helping to pick up litter or helping to mentor a young person. Those are the things that really motivate me and keep me going because those are things that are real. You see a lot of things on different social media platforms, but when you see the look on a child's face when I point to them and say, "Hey, that used to be my seat at James Craig Elementary. That used to be my seat at Matthew Henson Middle School. That used to be my locker at McDonough High School," and they say, "Wow, I can do that too." Truth be told, our county didn't look like the county it does now when I was a young person, and you didn't have those motivating factors. And so with elders have come before me who motivated me to keep going, to keep pushing, to keep moving the county forward. That's what gets me up in the morning because I stand on some very, very tall, broad shoulders. And so I don't want to let them down, but I also want to serve as a mentor to my two daughters. They are my world and they love it here too. And they're always amazed that when I tell them about the county that I grew up in and the county they see now, they're just like, wow, you were a part of that and helping to get this county looking the way it does. And I'm like, yeah, actually, and we're not done yet, but yes, I want to leave you with a county that you can be proud of and that one that we all can be proud of. As current commissioner, going out into community, it's been a godsend that people talk to me earnestly and honestly, and I love that part from our community. But one of the things that we hear is a very, very positive thing is the infrastructure development in Waldorf and the expansion of infrastructure development up and down the 301 corridor. And that means adequate and abundant water supply. We, as a county, went from about 1.5 million gallons to 6 million gallons of water per day for our county. And that's a huge increase because we are a growing county. But we make sure that we have the infrastructure support that is going to allow us to grow at a more modest rate because we're growing a little bit too fast, but we can sort of dial it back, but we'll have the infrastructure in place to support that modest growth going forward. But along those same lines, one of the biggest concerns that I've heard from the community is a lack of economic development or diverse economic development. Right now in the county, we are 85% of our revenue is derived from property taxes. So that means that when property taxes are your sole source of income, then that means that it fluctuates a little bit more than you would like. And by not having a diverse portfolio of revenue sources, it means that basically you put all your eggs in one basket. And so when we see housing fluctuations, when we see people moving out or vacant properties, that becomes less money that we have in order to generate revenue for our county. And so for me and what I've heard from the community is that we need to diversify. We need to bring in larger companies that can help support our business community so that we can hire people to live, work, and play in Charles County and not have to leave the county for sustainable employment. And along those same lines, traffic. We have been very intentional about solving the traffic issue or addressing the traffic issue in Charles County. With that, we are implementing the Southern Maryland Rapid Transit, which is going to be a combination of light rail and bus services that'll be operating on the corridors of 301 and 210. So we've been very active in listening, but also very active in coming up with plausible solutions. And along the lines of the SMRT, we're so happy to have state partners in Annapolis who have made sure to maintain our funding for that in the general overall state budget. Having a more diverse economic development portfolio is something that is critical and something that motivates me every day, honestly. That's why I'm such a proponent of supporting the Chamber of Commerce, as well as small and minority businesses, women-owned businesses, and armed services individuals who want to start businesses here. And for me, it is personal in that I want to see everyone succeed. And my slogan of access and opportunity now is not something I just say, it's something I believe. And so when you give people access to funds, you give people access to opportunities, you give people the access to whatever it is their heart may desire, and you do it now, not in the future, but you do it now, is it really does motivate me to do the best for the residents here in District 4, as well as the county overall. My top three priorities are economic development, environmental stewardship, and education. Priority number one, work with economic development to really attract and create an environment that businesses will want to come here. The commissioners do not pick and choose winners and losers. That is a rumor that people have that we go out and we can bring people here and we'll just drag Wegmans here and we'll drag somebody else here and make them do business here. That's not how it works. It works by creating an ecosystem and create an environment where people will want to come here, where it's desirable for high-end businesses, high-end restaurants, high-end boutiques, those items to come to here, to compete to want to come here. It does not serve us to basically open the doors and let anybody in, and we don't make them a part of our community or don't have them pour into us being a part of our community partners. Number two would be environmental stewardship. Our county is a beautiful county. It is a county where the air is clean, the trees are beautiful, and the water's clean. And so I want to be a part of maintaining that. I'm an avid hunter. I like to hunt in our county, and I love the fact that we have that dichotomy of we have the Waldorf urban community, but if you're an outdoorsman person, I love to fish as well too. If you like to hunt and fish, then there are places for you in the county where you can catch some wonderful striped bass and you can get some great whitetail. And so for me, environmental stewardship, making that sure that we have those clean spaces, those green spaces that we can go and enjoy your families and you can enjoy just time alone with, communing with God if you want to. Those places need to be maintained and actually celebrated and encouraged to proliferate across our county. And then lastly, of course, is education. I'm a current special education teacher. I've next to commissioner, it has been the biggest thrill of my life because for me, it's always been about what you do for the least, you do unto the king. And so for me, it's always been about making sure that we pull up the people that may need the most help, but we bring them along with us because no one should be left behind. No one should feel like they're the outside of the arm reach of the government or the community. And so it's always been about encouraging people to come in. It's always been about making people feel that they are a important member of the community, and it really is just that simple. I'm a very much a people-oriented person. I'm always about inclusion and making sure that people feel seen and heard, so that way we can have a vibrant community that is very community-centered, and that way we can always make sure that we're all growing and we're all moving forward together instead of leaving some people behind. So in 10 years, I see Charles County as being a very vibrant community where we have multiple voices and multiple sounds coming from our community. And that's a great change from what it has been basically in the past 50 years. Now we are at the cusp of seeing what it really looks like to be in a cosmopolitan, multilingual, multi-faceted community. And I think that's a fantastic thing. And as a commissioner, I am so happy that I'm able to support this growth in so many different ways. If it comes through affordable housing, if it comes through just making sure that we have recognitions every month to say, hey, it's Asian American and Pacific Islander month this month. It's Arab American Heritage Month last month. These are the things that were never in the view of the commissioners. And it wasn't until a more diverse board came that we started to say, hey, we need to make sure that everyone's included. This past year, we had several holidays that were new introductions because we do have such a diverse amount of people that are coming here, and we need to recognize and have them feel that they're being seen. And so, for me, just going 10 years into the future, I'm just so excited to see what Charles County has to grow into, and I'm just happy to be a part of it and to keep the momentum going forward. And I'm just so happy to have the Southern Maryland Rapid Transit is something that has been front and center for the commissioners as far as an agenda, even on the state level, because the Southern Maryland Rapid Transit is going to help not only alleviate the traffic situation in Charles or the traffic problem in Charles County, it's also going to support economic development in Charles County. So we're getting a two for one by having this Southern Maryland Rapid Transit. It's going to help move not only our commuters in and out of the county, but it's also going to create that sort of reverse commute where we have people that want to hear about Charles County, but then they come and see us, and it makes it easier for them to come and see what the great things we have going on in Waldorf and the great things we have going on all across the county that maybe they may not have been able to experience. But now, because of the ease of the transportation situation and the fact that it is going to be wonderful, that they are going to be able to enjoy what we already know is going on here in Charles County. A lot of people leave in order to enjoy amenities in other locations that they could enjoy here. It's just a matter of bringing those amenities here so that way we can have people that live, work, and play in Charles County and they don't have to leave. And so by having more larger businesses that come to Charles County, we're going to have an attraction to bring and retain residents here so that we can keep those dollars in Charles County. The police and the fire are paramount as far as maintaining a vibrant and safe community. And so every year I would coordinate and have a briefing from the sheriff as well as the fire and EMS departments to see what we can do is making sure that they're fully funded and that they're able to provide the utmost service to our residents. We have to create the environment for businesses to want to come here. It doesn't make sense for businesses to be dragged here kicking and screaming. By creating an ecosystem, by creating an environment where they feel safe, where they feel like they're going to be a community partner, That is what the job of the commissioners is. By making sure that we recognize them, promote them, and making sure that they feel like they are supported. We have a department in county government that is exclusively about supporting our local business community. And that especially goes down to our veteran owned businesses, our women owned businesses, and our minority owned businesses. We are very cognizant of the fact that those are the lifeblood of our community, and they are the ones that oftentimes need the most help. We have a great relationship with the Charles County Public Schools, and each year they receive the lion's share of the budget from the county commissioners to the tune of, I think, $528 million this year, which is an increase from last year. So the commissioners have always been very, very front and center about making sure that our youngest residents are the ones that feel the most support. Because if you do not have a educated populace, then crime goes up, the amount of workforce goes down, and it just is not a recipe for success in our community. I am a proponent of education because our education system is top flight in Charles County Public Schools. So I'm always working with not only the local high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools, but with the Board of Education and Dr. Navarro, the superintendent of schools, to make sure that I can fund as much of their requests as possible. Some of the organizations that I've partnered with to help support youth engagement have been, of course, Charles County Parks and Recreation. Their Rec Express van has been fantastic. I've actually followed them around to several of the sites, and it's amazing the amount of kids that just come running out of the houses because they see the amount of energy and the amount of games and how much fun we're just having on a nice sunny day. And it's been fantastic, and parents love it too. And so, even having community partners like Future Storytellers, Stella's Girls, and I mean, there's a whole slew of them. These are the community organizations that help support not only what we're doing in county government, but across the county to make sure that our youth always have something to do and they always feel that their community loves them and gives them something to do. Affordable housing is a necessity in Charles County. Our county is growing very quickly, and it's incumbent upon me to make sure that the developers that come in to provide these products to our residents are bringing the best possible product to Charles County. So for me, every time there's an applicant that comes in that wants to maybe provide affordable housing or housing in certain locations, it's always about, will the housing be supported by infrastructure, and will the housing will be something that's attractive to our population of residents. Along the same lines of affordable housing is senior living. We have uh, along the same lines of affordable housing is senior living. I have been so adamant that we need to have people aging and being able to age in place. I have a mother that is a senior citizen, and she wants to stay here. And she is very, that is my why. I know that everybody wants to be able to have some level of independence, but they do need support. And so for me, having affordable housing or having senior living housing is something that is a necessity for both the front end of our populace and the back end. Supporting the charitable trust has always been very important for me because they do the groundwork that's necessary to support all of the various nonprofits that we have in the county. And so every year I make sure to put into our budget the necessary funds that they're going to need in order to support all these wonderful programs. I am so happy that I was able to support the IG implementation from the beginning all the way to the end. An inspector general is going to be somebody that is going to be able to follow every single penny of taxpayer money wherever it goes and find out if it's being used appropriately or inappropriately and hold the people accountable for inappropriate use. And that is something that has never ever happened in the 400 plus year history of Charles County. But starting next year, that's going to be implemented in order to bring wage fraud and abuse down to zero in Charles County. I plan to collaborate with my other colleagues to make sure that first and foremost, they know the priorities and needs of District 4. But then beyond that, I want to learn what are the priorities in their various districts as well. So that way we can have a holistic approach to making sure that we govern all of our residents fairly and appropriately across our county. So the 2027 budget was a very comprehensive and complete budget. I feel that it addressed all the priorities that I felt were important for the community: public safety, education, and basically infrastructure supports. And I would hope that we can maintain our AAA bond rating. For me, it is making sure that we have recognition months. We also have community events where we keep our rich heritage front and center. We now have two recognition months in Charles County for our African Heritage Month, and we also have for Black History Month. And that was something that just started actually this past year. And so for me, it's always going to be about recognizing each and every person in their culture, in their heritage, and making sure that these are front and center and honored and celebrated. Community engagement is the key. People, when they feel like they don't are not being seen, they become jaded and become apathetic. For me, it's always been personal. These are family, these are friends, these are sometimes relatives. We have to make sure that they have a seat at the table. For so long, certain parts of the county have grown and other parts have not. That is not the way our county should grow. We should grow at a measured pace together. And so for me, it's always been about community engagement, but bringing those issues to the Board of Commissioners to let them know that this is something that I feel should be moved in a expeditious manner to help people. I became a commissioner to help people. It wasn't to be a celebrity. It wasn't to become a a known entity. It is to do the work to make sure that we have the people in place that are going to do the best job for all of our residents. For me, it's always been personal. I'm always going to meet people where they are because that is the truest form of community engagement. And people will believe you and they'll trust you when you meet them where they are and you show that you honestly care about their situation. When you honestly can look them in the eye and tell them that you care and that you won't leave them in their most dire time of need. What you're going to get with Ralph Patterson, you're going to get the real deal. And if for me, being present, community engagement, and making sure that they everybody knows that their commissioner cares and their commissioner is going to show up. In fact, if you don't see me there, that's a problem. And for me, I wake up with that idea in my head every day that, you know what, you have to be there because people are counting on you. Your community is counting on you. They need you. They want to see you. And when I show up, it is like it's indescribable because you see the joy on people's faces. You see the fact that they finally have a commissioner that cares. They finally have a commissioner that wants to hear their problems and about their solutions. The reason why people trust me in this office is because they have seen me come up as a child in this county and they know that I love this county and that I would never do anything to harm it. And so for me, proving each and every day to not only the older community, but to the younger community that this is how you're supposed to conduct yourself. This is how you're supposed to act and behave and be a present and positive force for your community always. The reason why people should trust me in this office is because they've seen me grow in this office over these 4 years. But even prior to those 4 years, they saw the work that I was doing in the community, helping food drives, helping church socials, helping just basically anybody who needed it. And so being a commissioner has just been an extension of the work I've already been doing. And it's not done yet.